function. This I implemented for iteration 2, so I'll just go ahead and walk you through. So it's the move unit function. Basically, just as the name suggests, moves the units. So it goes from a position, which is the from, and then where it's going to be going. So I'm going to run through this first if loop, and that just gets the unit at this position and it returns the owner. And this is just checking to make sure that the player that is owning that unit is allowed to move it. Next, I'm going to make sure that there's no mountain, so that is just to get tile at whatever position, and if it's a mountain, then it obviously can't move and it just returns. If it makes it through all this, then we're going to go into get the unit, and we have whatever owner is, and this is to make sure that the unit is attacking. So for example, if this is red unit, then it's making sure that the position that it's moving is not also a red unit, and if it's a blue unit or anything other than red, then it's going to attack. And I'll take you down to this function, but it's just passing in the from and the to, and then the unit at each, and then also the location, the new location. And this flag is just to say that it should be attacking. So I'll take you down to here. So as I just explained this, the attacker, defender, new position, and the flag. So this just takes the attacking piece and moves it to the new location. And then if their flag is triggered, then it just deletes this the defending piece. The way I have this set up is it just moves the piece to 1717, which is just off of the board. So to get some of these functions, like the change unit position, I can go over to here, and this will just take in whatever the location is that needs to be changed, and it calls this position, the change position function, which I added in position here, which just passes in X and Y and changes the position variables. And I also had to add in this return unit position so that we can test. And I will show that testing, how I set this up. So I start out with, we have the unit cannot move over mountain, and that's just from inside that if statement. And attacking unit wins. So this is just showing that whatever the attacking unit is. So I have the red archer at position 2-0, blue legion at 3-2, and the trash bin just to check, even though it's already declared. So in the game, it's just going to move red archer position to blue legion position. So in this case, the red archer should win. And this is just asserting that the blue legion was moved to the trash, and that's just what this is. So I can go ahead and run this test. Taking a little bit, but yep, all 9 tests passed. And I guess I can explain this function as well. The red cannot move blue unit. This is just making sure that, like I said before, the whatever pieces in turn cannot move any other pieces. So that's just how this happens. And that's just asserting that the blue legion and red archer, it's just making sure that the pieces aren't being moved whenever it's not their turn. So, yep, thanks.
So I will be going over our TDD implementation of the city producing units that the city is focusing on, if it has the production available. So as an overview, at the end of each turn, each city or all cities produce 6 production. And to test this, I went ahead and used the Archer class for the units. So every time the city has 10 unit or 10 production, an Archer will be produced. So turn 1, nothing should happen. And at the end of turn 2, that's when both cities will have production of 12. So 12 is bigger than 10, so it can produce an Archer. You go through here, you get the list of units that the city produced, and then you just check if it's empty. If it's not empty, then that means the city is passing the production test to see if it's actually producing. And then I initialized a position north, which is just north of the red city. And then I just checked that the city produced at the first unit is north of the city. So to sort of do this, I went ahead and initialized a list of units that the red city will produce. And at the end of every turn right here, the cities will add 6 production. And then after it adds 6 production, it will go into a switch case. So for the red city, it'll get the city work focus, which we have just set to Archer. And it'll go through, say, okay, it's an Archer, and we check if the treasury has 10 production in it. If it does, it uses the utility function get 8 neighborhood of to get the available adjacent tiles around the city, and then it just goes through, and if there is a possible tile that a unit can be placed on, which is this if iterator has next, it'll go ahead and produce that unit. So it will get the position of that iterator, and then it will add a new unit to the red city production list of an Archer, 4-player red, since this is the red city, and then just the location. So if I go through and run this test, you can see that test offensive city produces focus unit if available, passes. And then to get this list from game impl, I just have this getter function that returns the list.